Welcome to the Champions League preview, where I give you my predictions on the games that are coming up in this week's match day. Now, for the group stages, I will just be predicting the English side's games, but after that, we'll get into all the games as there's just far too many in the group stages. But anyway, on to the first game I'm going to be talking about today, and that is, of course, Athletic Bilbao versus Arsenal. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. Obviously, the game is being played in Bilbao, so Arsenal probably will be setting up different to how they would at home. I'm just hoping that Mikel Arteta has a bit more courage in today's game. Otherwise, Bilbao might actually get a result. If they set up like they did against Liverpool, trying to get a draw or maybe a counter-attack goal, they're not going to succeed. However, if they play like they've played at home this season, they will get a massive result here in Bilbao. So I want to see Arsenal be really progressive, really attacking and go for this game, and they could really put down an early marker that Arsenal is going to be one of the teams to look out for in this tournament. However, I don't know in reality whether that will happen. I feel like Mikel Arteta will go try and get points on the board. He won't be so bothered if they win or draw as long as they don't lose. So with that in mind, I am going to say Arsenal are going to edge it, but it's going to be really close and maybe even get a draw. The other game happening on Tuesday is Tottenham versus Villarreal. Now this one is at Tottenham, and I've got to say the way Tottenham have been playing this season, I can only see this going one way, and that is going to be a big Tottenham victory, especially with their crowd, with their fans getting right up for it as they're back in the Champions League. So I feel like the Tottenham crowd is going to get up, the players are going to perform like they've been performing all season other than that one game, and they're going to play really well. They're going to be solid at the back. They're going to have too much Villarreal, so I'm predicting a big Tottenham win for this one. On to Wednesday's matches, and we come to Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. Now this has to be one of the games of the round. It's going to be absolutely crackers. It's a replay of that famous final when Chelsea won their first ever European Champions League trophy. So it's going to be massive. Obviously, Nicholas Jackson going to Bayern Munich, the whole transfer saga of that. It's going to be an interesting game. However, I do think there's going to be a lot of goals in the game. I think this is probably the one time that the English sides don't win. I think most of the English sides are going to win the majority of their games in the group stage of the Champions League. But Bayern Munich are a monster when it comes to European football. They're a monster in European competitions. They've been playing well in the Bundesliga this season. They've got better since signing like Luis Diaz in the summer. Their squad is just ridiculous. Harry Kane up front. So I think they're going to cause havoc to Chelsea in the fact that their goalkeeper, Chelsea's goalkeeper, can he save a thing, can he? So I think it's going to be a win to Bayern Munich, but it's going to be a crazy game, maybe a 3-2. Chelsea are going to get some goals. I predict João Pedro will score, but Bayern Munich will win this one. Then we come to Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid, and this game is going to be crazy. Now, Liverpool this season haven't looked at their best. However, they have won 4 out of 4 in the league. They seem to manage to find a way in the end to get it done, and it's going to have to be another one of those performances against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid will happily sit in, block, play the dirtiest football they can to get a result, and I feel they'll come to Anfield and they'll do that. However, I think this magic is just going to carry on for another game. I might be slightly biased as I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think Liverpool are going to get it over the line with a last-minute winner yet again, and it's going to be absolutely crazy. So I'm going to predict Liverpool will win that. On to Thursday's games, and we have Newcastle versus Barcelona, and this game is going to be a madness. Now, most people coming into this will have Barcelona as favourites. However, I am scrapping that straight out the window straight away because Newcastle are going to blow them away. Now, if you remember when Newcastle first came back into the Champions League a few years ago, they played PSG at St James's Park, and PSG were absolutely shell-shocked. I think it was like 4-1 Newcastle. That's going to happen to Barcelona. Trust me. Opening day of the Champions League at St James's Park is going to be havoc. The fans are going to be well up for it, and Newcastle will perform. They'll play off that energy. Going to St James's Park, whatever day it is difficult. But when it's Champions League night and the fans are really, really up for it, they're going to go for it. And well, I think it's the last time Barcelona played Newcastle at St James's Park, they got thrashed 3-0. I think that's going to happen again, and I think Newcastle are going to put a big scoreline and a big statement that they are here, and they are ready to play with the big boys. So I'm going for a Newcastle win. And the final game I want to talk about is Man City versus Napoli, and this is going to be an elite game. And it's going to be weird to see Kevin De Bruyne playing against Man City in the first game of the Champions League. Crazy to me. Now, Napoli are playing fantastic football in Serie A. Man City have been a bit all over the shot. They played well at the weekend against Man United, but they really have been all over the shot. So this game is pretty tricky to call. Now, I think Napoli will probably score a few goals. I think maybe De Bruyne will thread through just a perfect ball, or McTominay will have a class game in midfield. However, the real thing that's going to determine this game is how well Haaland plays. If Haaland is on it, there's only one winner, and that's Man City. I mean, the way he tore through Man United and the way he tore through in the international break, there's no stopping this guy. So if he comes out performing like that, this has got a Man City win. If not, it will be a draw if Haaland's not playing well. So those are my predictions for the Champions League this week. What do you think of my predictions? Do you agree? Do you not? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what game you're most excited to watch this week.